Let's be real for a moment. We're already in the AI race. Every day, whether we notice it or not, from asking Siri to set a timer or letting Google finish our sentences. Like, wow, this shift is already happening day by day. But here's the thing. Google's been soaking up data for many years, and Apple's sort of not too far behind, but they're playing a totally different game. Hi, my name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. Thank you for joining this channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you more specifically about Google and Apple, Google versus Apple, the race to AI innovation and how their approaches are different, but who wins? Now, Google's sort of been the innovator in the search engine space, right? For years and years, people just have flooded and continue to flood to Google for searching whatever you're searching online. And this has been sort of the search engine, the go-to search engine. However, in this new era of AI, there's another flooding, and that flooding space people are occupying, and it's the open AI space. But I also want to talk about Apple in this video and how we're going to see some things shift on Apple's side. I really believe it. But which approach wins, Google or Apple? You know, I'm going to go into the history of, what we call digital socialism, and how this has affected humans across the world. But let's get right into the video. Now, what and this is something that I've been sort of mulling over back and forth. The AI space is a young man's game. And what do I mean by that? So there are 21 and 22-year-olds right now at the university or at MIT. They're starting to plan their own companies, starting to build their own companies, becoming the CEOs of venture capital companies, startup companies, of artificial intelligence companies. And they are able to somehow currently begin staffing maybe 15 to 20 people, and they're making these hedgeways into growth. And with these companies, it's amazing to see, because it is a young man's game. These young 21 and 22-year-olds, they don't have to relearn an entire computer system or operating system or API. They can kind of like look at the AI space and say, okay, this is something, this is not, it's new to me, but I don't have any sort of point of reference, right? So it's absolutely a young man's game. Now, digital socialism is, in fact, the sharing of files, the sharing of the digital space, and how we're able to access, we can access pretty much anything online. It's a sort of a sharing economy. And with this sharing economy, what happens is there is information not only being shared, but it's being stored. And it's being researched upon, and it's being placed into sort of these algorithms that are allowing these companies, and there are thousands upon thousands of AI startup companies that be on the lookout for these young CEOs. One may eventually come out on top. If I would take you back to the history of, there were two 21-year-olds in the age of the computer, both Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were the same age, and they were competing for the same space. So I would look out for that in this space of artificial intelligence, in this digital space. So we are in a sharing economy. This is digital socialism. It's so amazing to me to see even how you can benefit off of sharing versus trying to hold information or content, because the internet is so vast, it's so big. It's just a big space of just immense content sharing, right? And so with Google, I want to talk about Google first. And this is just a simple talk, just me kind of going through my thoughts online, and as I share, feel free to comment down below under the description. But Google and Apple are both sort of at odds, and they're sort of in competition. Google has been the search engine, or it was the search engine of the future. That's no longer. OpenAI has sort of taken that space to the point of ChatGPT. People have flooded the ChatGPT space. There's been a flood in recent weeks. If you've noticed, you've been able to generate images from ChatGPT. So it's like, it's amazing to see this, but I'm saying this to say that Google is no longer the search engine of the future. It's no longer the search engine of now. OpenAI has sort of taken that space, and Google, being worth billions and billions of dollars. I don't know how much they make a year or even a month, but you can imagine the company Google is still looking to take hold of that space. I will tell you this, they do have a leg up because all of the information that we have shared with Google over the years, and they are sort of not shying away from this. They are using this information to be able to build this big AI machine. The information that you have searched and researched, and let me just say this: people are online trying to get the latest scores. They're trying to get the latest updates. And I say scores. What I mean by that is sports scores. They want to get the latest updated information. So if there's a sort of product or a AI machine that can sort of lend itself to this, it would be the most beneficial. Now, Google has Gemini, of course, but there is one ace in the hole that Google has, and it is all of the research that it's accumulated based off of what we searched. You know, Google has been very, very, very good about marketing us, the consumer, or you, the consumer, me, the consumer, marketing us on the products that we research online. You know, you research something on Google, and then the research is done on you. So what is being done with all this information? Well, I believe to this day, all of this research information is getting put into a database, and it's going to be used later on for whatever they're going to build in the future, whatever the future of AI will be. And this will help Google to sort of establish or maybe reestablish itself in its place in the AI race, right? Because with every search, this AI is going to sort of improve itself. The more information you have, the better you'll be able to, the better Google will be able to sort of have all the information and gather information for whatever they're sort of looking in terms of building. So Google is in this space. Not only that, I'm going to switch over to Apple. Apple has had sort of a tough time the past 5 to 6 months. There's been a flirtation with Siri, and Siri, we all know, is voice activated. It should have been, the Siri should have already been in the space of AI. It should have been already integrated, but Apple had to sort of do some shifts even in their, with their behind the scenes. There were some shifts, like people's positions got moved just because I believe Tim Cook wants to see something. I mean, he's not a young man. I wouldn't say Tim Cook is old, but he's probably looking for something innovative in the AI space. And Apple sort of already waved the white flag of semi-surrender in that they have allowed OpenAI and ChatGPT to become an app. And it's sort of like, oh man, well, we know we're not even close to where ChatGPT is. So we're just going to go ahead. Yes, let's see if we can kind of partner and allow for that app to be on your iPhone, your iPad. So it's sort of, to me, it's not waving the flag of surrender just yet, but you know, they have a long way to go with Siri. And they've been forced to add ChatGPT because ChatGPT is really the winner in this case. And so there is one thing that Apple has sort of touted as being the company that does not steal your information, that they keep your information private. Opposite of Google. Google's very, very candid about taking your information and using it sort of against you. But Apple has sort of said, oh, we don't use your information. We have all these privacy walls to where you have to either sign over your data, and we're not going to use your information for privacy purposes or privacy data. Well, there was recently a introduction of synthetic data. And what Apple has done with this synthetic data is basically your information is given to whatever information that you key into Apple. Whether if you buy a new computer and you key in your information, this information goes into a database, and there is synthetic data that is inserted into the information that you have, and it sort of goes into this digital centrifuge. And what Apple is looking at is they're taking all information, all data, your data and the synthetic data. You can call it AI data. I guess they use an AI generated informational system to insert this synthetic data and scramble it up. And there you go. They have sort of this half human, half AI data, which is that infringement of your privacy? I don't know. You'll have to tell me this. But going back to what I said, I mean, we're in a sharing economy, and this sharing economy allows companies to have access to some things that are sort of gray. It's sort of a gray area, and the line is being pushed every day. So I'm just, I'm excited to see what happens. Apple has a really long way. I know they are trying to work through their Siri issues. They haven't killed it just yet, but I'm going to be interested to see how they sort of fare in this AI space. And like I said, I mean, there are countless and countless, hundreds and hundreds, y'all, of AI startup companies by these students. Like these students at MIT are like, they're literally just killing the game. Like they are coming out of college with their own companies. And could you imagine if you go back 10 years, right? If there's a company that runs, I shouldn't say a company that runs, but a company that has employees of about 100 to 300 members, you're not going to have a 21-year-old necessarily becoming or being the CEO of a company of more than 100 to 300 or 1,000 employees, because that 21-year-old doesn't necessarily, they don't really have the capability or the experience. They're 21, right? But with AI and artificial intelligence, you can half that number of employees down to 15 to 20 employees, and you can partner and have a partnership with AI and sort of allow AI to assist you with your day-to-day functions. And a 21-year-old can very much so run a company nowadays. So you can see the vast change of how things are happening. The older generation, having to relearn these new practices, these new technologies, the digital space, the sharing economy. It's going to be a race to see who comes out, whether or not they come out the next Steve Jobs or the next Bill Gates. But this is exciting, an exciting space to be in. And I want you guys to comment, leave any comments on this video if you have any sort of comments or questions. I absolutely love this space. I love the research that's going on. One of my pet peeves of mine is my screen went black on me. So I need to turn my sleep function off of my computer. But anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the comments. I want to also admonish you, I have a new guidebook that is out for all of you guys who may be looking, if you're looking for an Apple computer, a laptop, if you're sort of anxious, not sure what you want to purchase. And, a lot of times we'll go to the Apple website and we'll sort of be overwhelmed in what they give us in terms of, what to purchase. Should I purchase how much RAM or how much storage should I purchase? I have a book specially made for you. Go grab that book. I have it in the description. Click the link in the description. You can, and this guide will help you with how to purchase a book, from being overwhelmed in your search, if you're in the market for an Apple product, to being sure about what sort of computer you're going to purchase. It's going to help you to establish how much storage, how much RAM you'll need with your purchase. Because a lot of times, you know, we go out in the marketplace, or we go to the Apple website, or we go to the Apple store, and Apple hits you with a whole bunch of marketing language. And once, by the time you see the lights and the computer screen, the keyboard, all the accessories, you're sort of like bought in. But I want you to really be kind of like, prepared. And this book, this ebook, it's an ebook, it allows you to be prepared. So go grab that, and appreciate everyone who has supported this channel from day one. All my day ones, leave me a shout out in the comments, and I will look to see you guys soon. Talk soon.